Undirected team, we got another one. They have gotten LeBron James yet again. The GOAT. They got him with another controversial call at the end of a game that the Lakers could have won, but they were possibly scammed by the NBA officials. So we're going to have to look through all of this. We're going to look through all the evidence, and we're going to see what's going on and see if we can determine if LeBron James was scammed or if this is a whole bunch of nothing. I don't know. So we're going to go into a little history, not too deep because there's plenty we could talk about with LeBron, but we'll just go to a controversial call last year, which was egregious. And then LeBron James speaks, so we'll get his audio. And then we'll go through some stuff in between, and I'll give my analysis as an official. I've been officiating high school up to the collegiate level for quite a long time now. So we'll get into all that, but let's start here with a call that was extremely talked about at the time. And this is, as you can see, when LeBron James had an opportunity to win the game on a foul, but he was not given the foul that he deserved. And it went to overtime, and he lost this game. Let's check it out real quick. Let's see why LeBron looks so distraught. We're going to leave the sound off for this. You see right there, LeBron's pointing to his left hand. You got the official looking away from LeBron. Usually when these theatrics are demonstrated by a player, a technical foul will be assessed for demeaning the official or acting on sporting-like or just showing disregard for their call and not respecting their call. But this official decided to say, well, we're going to ignore this one. But why? Well, let's go back. And this is the iconic pose LeBron had. You'll see plenty of memes with this exact pose here. Shout out to Bron. He's got plenty of memes, but this one right here is one that you'll see often. So we got a replay here. I'll let it play through. Oh, that's going to affect your shot. There was no whistle blown there. There was no whistle blown there. Had they have blown the whistle there on the clear contact on James' arm, he would have had the opportunity to win the game at the free throw line with his 2 merited free throws. But he was robbed. Let's go a little bit deeper into this, though. Let's check out this video that's going to give us an even better look. We're going to keep the sound off. We'll just let that replay right there. So what you can see is just out of frame, we have a official. So there's 3 designated spots as officials. So I'll give you all a quick breakdown. You got a trail official. He's usually at the top, and he is kind of at the half court, 28-foot mark. Then you got your center official. He's going to be right where the free throw line is. He'll be right at the free throw line on either side, extended from it. Then you have your lead official. He's going to be the one that's under the basket, and he gets contact like this. Now, in this case, the lead could be on either side. If he hadn't rotated yet, you could possibly say he misses this contact because he's not in position. The problem is that the lead is right near Tatum. Like where Tatum is, the lead's right there. There's no way he misses this call. Now, I will say as an official, I've missed calls. obvious calls. A lot of the times, as officials, it's okay to get a late whistle as long as you're correct. So sometimes in the moment, you'll see a play and you'll just freeze for a second. You won't blow your whistle. And then you'll end up blowing it maybe like a second and a half later, like, you know, and that's okay because you're getting the call right. And that's something this official could have done. There's also one more thing I'll point out about this is that a lot of times, and it shouldn't be this way, a foul in the first quarter should be a foul in the fourth quarter, or a foul with 1 minute to go should be a foul 1 minute into the game. But oftentimes, officials don't want to decide the game. So that could be kind of what was going through his mind as the official, but I don't know if we got, well, let's see if I got a still where you can see the official in the frame. We might have it here. Oh, yeah, we got it right here. Shout out to whoever posted this. I'll get his name in a second. So look, the official's right there. I'm just going to let this sit here for a second. You can't miss this one. Now, this was a regular season game, and the Lakers ended up going to the play-in tournament, but they were close to securing a 6th spot, I believe, or even a different situation in the play-in tournament. But, you know, one game for the Lakers last year was a big difference. So, did this come into play? Yes, it did. And LeBron should have got his free throws and had an opportunity to win this at the line. Oh, and let's see. This post was by EP. So, shout out to him. And this was the funny one right here. We got to get this one. We'll turn off the volume. Patrick Beverley, he comes over with the tape. He comes over with the tape of what we just seen and shows the crew chief, Eric Lewis, that he missed a call. Now, there's nothing they can do to change it at this point. This is after the game's already been decided that it's going to overtime. But what they can do is give Patrick Beverley a technical foul for coming on the court with a DSLR camera and showing the play that the officials missed, that they're already angry about, and get a tech for it. So in this situation, the Celtics would start it off with 2 technical free throws, and then should be a jump ball afterwards. It'd be a little bit different in high school or college if you would have got a technical before the period started. But in the NBA, should have been 2 shots for any player on the Celtics, and then you'll have a jump ball like normal. But that actually affects what's going to happen, and the Lakers did lose that game. So you'll see it right here. He's going to get him. Technical foul on Beverley. Go back to the bench. I'm not looking at the camera. I've been doing this. I've been officiating longer than you've been in the NBA, Patrick Beverley. I don't want to hear it. So, yeah. Okay, now, what we didn't discuss is during this game, it was LeBron James' birthday. They could have delivered a gift to LeBron and said his three-pointer was good, but they chose not to. Now, we're going to go to LeBron's Twitter. I'm going to see what Bron himself had to say. We got 1.4 million views and a bunch of comments on this play where LeBron shows that he, in fact, was behind the line when he shot the ball. And he's got a funny caption here, so let's read the caption real quick. So, WTF. We all know what that means. Hell of a happy B-Day gift to me with the facepalm emoji. And then you got some guys in here having a little bit of fun. I actually like this. And let's talk about this real quick. This is why the refs need to talk to media after the games. I kind of agree with it. In certain situations, not all the time. They're not the stars. See, as a referee, you don't really want to stand out necessarily. I mean, no, you don't. I mean, you want to like, assigners and people that are grading you, you want them to be able to see that you're a great official. But as far as the fans and the players and all that, you really don't want to stand out. Like, you don't want the attention to be on you. That's not what you're there for. That's why they wear the outfits that they wear, so they don't stand out. If you wanted the refs to stand out, they would be out there in hot pink and tie-dye. They'd be out there in a hot pink t-shirt and tie-dye shorts, wearing a hat with a little spinner on the top. You know the hats that the hats that got the little pinwheel on the top. They be wearing one of those. But they want the refs to blend into the crowd. That's why they're wearing this kind of gray and black, and they're off to the side. But they get paid well. And here's the other thing. The media highlights the officials. So they announce the officials before the game by name. They show the officials often. When the officials, after a challenge or whatever, they put the focus clearly on the officials, and they explain if the challenge is successful or unsuccessful. So they get a lot of attention during the game, but after the game, they don't have to speak about what they've seen. Now we're going to come right here and show, this is from LeBron James' page, but does this tell the whole story? We're going to dig a little bit deeper to find out. But for now, let's hear what LeBron James had to say in his post-game interview about this whole situation.
First of all, happy birthday. I'm sure you felt better than previous birthdays. But on that play, so you see some screenshots, seen the replay a million times. So what were you looking at when you kind of the discussion with the refs there about where your foot was, and how do you just evaluate that play?
What do you mean how? I mean, it's obvious at 3. My foot is behind the line. I mean, you can see the space between my front of my foot and the 3-point line. You can clearly see a white. The wood on the floor is a space in between my front of my foot and the 3-point line. So,
yeah, you can see the space in between his foot and the 3-point line. I mean, from what I seen and what he showed on his Instagram, that's gonna be a successful 3-point try, which would tie the game with 2.7 seconds left, not guaranteeing the Lakers' victory, but giving them an equal chance at that point to secure it.
There's no. Stevie Wonder can see that, champ.
Stevie Wonder can see it.
Did Tony Brothers have an explanation on the spot?
Brothers did not, but I didn't talk to Tony Brothers. I talked to the other ref, and they said it was out of their hands. The Secaucus, whatever, over there in the replay center or whatever. Somebody over there eating a ham sandwich, or somebody made the call.
Eat a ham.
How do you handle that? There have been plays, I'm sure, that have not gone your way like that in the past where a game's been decided, but how do you handle that?
Something last year.
What's the way to handle that?
Remember, you hear what he just said. It happened last year. He's referring to the play that we talked about in the beginning, the Tatum play, where he got hacked on his left arm, clearly, and they decided not to blow the whistle and give him his deserved foul and free throws, and he lost the game. Same result happened tonight on his birthday, of all days.
None looks stupid when they bring out the last 2-minute report.
What did you see?
That might get him fined. They might not fine him because he's the GOAT. But most people say that you're gonna have a fine, probably 10 G's. I get him for like 10 G's.
What kind of look did you get?
It might still fine him though.
Play the game.
Can't talk about the officials.
After the buzzer.
Yeah, I thought I had a quick go, but when I turned, Rudy was right there. So try to duck under it. 1.4 is a lot of time, but not as much time as I thought. So I kind of.
And he's talking about the play because they actually did have a chance. There was 1.4 left on the clock. Actually, we can go to that real quick. There was 1.4 left on the clock, and he had an opportunity to still win the game. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, that's this right here. That's this right here. So right here, so you could see 1.4 on the clock. Now this play is awful. I have no idea what's going on. You can just look and see that this play was gonna fail. 1.4 doesn't give you enough time to pass the ball to anybody. So when you got action like this, where you got three guys basically doing nothing, the help side's able to come. You see Gobert, he's like 50 feet tall right here under the basket. You got a primary defender, and it looks like Anthony Edwards on LeBron James. These other three guys set no screen. If AD at least sets a pick on Rudy Gobert, you at least give LeBron an opportunity to go one-on-one with Anthony Edwards. But now you got Gobert rushing into the play. Great shot blocker, great defender, and puts LeBron in a very ugly situation. Now, honestly, LeBron could have came away from the basket up to the top of the key and caught the ball and maybe shot a three-point shot and tried to win the game. You're on the road. A lot of times you're like, skip overtime, let's try to win it here and now. But this is an awful play, so I don't know who drew this up. I'm assuming the coach. But he doesn't even get a shot off. But at that point, he's still upset about the other play and him not getting the three-point shot that he was supposed to get. And yeah, that was bad. But anyways, that's what they were talking about there, where he got cooked at the end of the game. But they still had a chance to win, so. But I want to talk about, I think we had everything. Let's see if there's anything else.
Like that, but I do a better job. I've been in that situation before. I just got to do a better job of knowing the time. I could have caught it and shot it right away, but
yeah.
Ant was playing on the high side. So
he's not throwing the coach under the bus for the play.
Gordon said he thought there could have been a missed call on that.
Oh, he talks about there was a missed call there. I didn't see anything on this.
They're not going to call that at that point.
Yeah, he's kind of, I don't know about that one. That's kind of, it's kind of whiny. All right, so Darvin Ham had an awful play at the end of that game with the 1.4 left. And he has to be blamed for that. But that's not the topic of this video. Let's look at the whole play in its entirety. And we'll let it loop. So let's observe this play and let's break it down, okay? So the Lakers, they were actually down significantly, and it looked like they didn't have a chance to win. Now, a lot of people say this, and this is where I disagree with people's analogy. So people will say this, right? They'll say, hey, well, the Lakers shouldn't have been down like that in the first place. If they'd have played a better game, they never would have been in that situation. Let's just stop all of that talk right away. The game is a 48-minute game in the NBA. Other levels, college is 20. High school varsity is 8 and 8 in most states. Here in Minnesota, it's 18 minutes, so 36 minutes. And there's a reason why when you look at a game and one team is, let's say one team goes up 30 points in the first half. And then the other team, they come back in the second half and get it to a tie game with 3 minutes left. the team that went up initially is just as bad as the team that had to come back, right? So that's why you never look at it and say, well, if we'd have played a better game, it never would have came down to the last second shot. That is just ridiculous. And that's why the comeback is so much more spectacular than the initial run. So if you go up 30 points in the first half, people are like, that's cool. But if you come back from down 30 in the second half, people are like, oh my God, that's incredible. Well, they're both incredible in the same way. And that's what people kind of fail to realize, when they look at teams having to fight back and claw back into the game and where the Lakers were at. So that's just kind of like where people get it confused as far as like, well, they never should have been in that situation in the first place. That is just complete, utter ridiculousness. So let's break down this play. We got I want you to look right here. So this is a quick transmit. When I watch the official. So this official is the old trail, and he's going to turn into the new lead. Now look how fast LeBron is compared to him. Look at where the ball is right now. So you got LeBron. He's running up the floor. The official's in front of him, and they smoke the official. So he's out of position to even see the shot because he's moving. And what they tell you is a lot of times you want to stop at some point so you can get a clear look. Now, the official doesn't know what LeBron's going to do because there's enough time. They've got a timeout for him to just get he could have went and just got a layup. You got 5 Timberwolves players behind him. So he could have just went, got a layup or a dunk, or he could have passed it to his teammate ahead and got a guaranteed 2-point shot. But instead, LeBron said, well, I want to get the 3-point shot in this situation and just tie it up, which is fine. And that's what he did. What looked to be successfully. So right here, the official, well, I'll take it back. The official did stop. And that's what he's supposed to do. Because when you're moving, everything's blurred. So he stops there. And now that you look at it, I mean, LeBron, should he have just took the 2-point shot there? I don't know. I actually like the 3. I like the 3 in this situation. So the official stops there, which that's good officiating right there. He didn't run all, because he's supposed to be down under the basket right now. That's where his natural spot is. You have an official behind him that's running to really get this action. That official right there, this isn't his action. It is in transition until his partner gets there to cover him. So he's basically holding for his partner, and his partner comes and he gets that action. But watch the official right here and what he does. So he's looking. He's straight lined right now. He can't see LeBron's foot. Look at him right here. Hold on, can I zoom it in? Let me see if I can zoom it in. All right. Let's break this down. Look at where he's at. Now he's moving. He's a blur right now. There's a lot going on in this play. The official cannot see clearly and definitively where LeBron James' foot is. If it's behind the line, if it's on the line. Now, from his view, I could see how he could think that he's touching a toe on the line. He's going to put his fingers down and indicate that it's a 2-point shot without a clear look of the shot, which that's a little questionable, right? But you have to signal something. Well, if it's a 3, you signal a 3. If it's a 2, you don't really have to signal anything. But if it's close, then you're going to give a signal one way or the other. So you're going to say, if it's close to a 3, but you think it's a 3, then you'll give the 3-point, which would be like this. I think the NBA they just do it like this. They just put their hand up like this. In high school or college, they want you to do this to signal a 3. But NBA is just like this with the inside hand, the hand closest to the table. So in this case, the official will put his right hand up and signal a 3-point shot. Or if he thinks it's a 2, then you'll put a 2 to the side, and that's what you're going to see him do. He does this. You see it right there. Zoom in once more. Right here, the official, without any clear, definitive look, signals a 2-point shot. All right, well, that's fine. That's what he's saying. Can't really argue that. And you see he holds the 2 up. Then he immediately comes and says, all right, we gotta review it. I'm calling it a 2 initially. This is where the official's call has a lot of weight to it. The initial call is a 2-point shot. So now, because he said it was a 2-point shot initially, that's going to be what they stand on unless there's something clear to overturn it. He's signaling 2 right here. Now let's see. I can see how from here it actually looks like a 2-point shot. And I can see how he called it a 2. It's going to get replayed anyways, but him calling it a 2-point shot to begin with makes it more likely that they're going to stick with the original call. Referees don't like to change their call. They want to be right the first time. If he'd have called this a 3 initially, they probably would have kept it a 3. Honestly, they probably would have. But since he called it a 2 initially, that's why they're leaning more heavily on keeping it a 2-point shot. So you can see that there. What else we got here? Lakers got robbed in 4K. I can't play the sound here just because it's just going to get cut out anyways. But basically what's going on is this is after they signal that it's a 2. The Minnesota crowd goes crazy. And LeBron James, thinking that he was going to be given his 3-point shot, sees that that's not what's going to happen. And he comes to the monitor. And you can see right here, hold on. Let's see if we can freeze it. He points right there. So you got the official right there. I believe that's Tony Brothers. He's holding up the 2-point shot, and LeBron's pointing and saying that's a 3. So this is a funny shot right here, where you got 2 guys looking at the same thing, saying something different. Now, LeBron James should be biased because he's LeBron James. It's his shot. It's his team. He's got a win on the line. The official shouldn't be biased because he's neutral. He's not on either team's side. And how are 2 people looking at the same thing but seeing 2 different things? You got one person saying 2, got another saying 3, but we're both looking at the exact same thing. So one of us is crazy, or one of us is a liar, or one of us is deceitful. Who is it? That's what it breaks down to. I mean, the image is right there. Let's look a little more into this shot, because we've seen on LeBron James, this is his Instagram, what he shows. And if you look at what he's showing, I mean, that's a 3-point shot. But we did some digging and we've looked at some different angles. And now we're starting to say, hey, maybe it's not a 3-point shot. Now, I want to talk about one other thing. You have to be touching the line for you to be considered on the line. So if your heel or your toe is hovering above the line, that's okay. If your heel or toe is touching the line, that's not okay. So most shoes, well, basketball shoes at least, they have a, what do you call it? They kind of dip up. They're kind of like this. They're not flat. They're like this. Right? So this right here would be flat. Like, this is flat, right? That's not how. Let's use this. This is a good thing to show right here. See how this isn't flat? You see how it comes up? That's how shoes are. At least basketball shoes. So as long as he's not touching the line, that's fine. So for instance, let's say he has his back foot clearly behind the line. Or his left foot's clearly behind the line, but his right foot is over the line but not touching the floor. That's still a good 3-point shot, or he's still behind the line. Right? It's the same thing with an out of bounds call. You can be standing next to the out of bounds line and hold the ball over the plane and it's not out of bounds. But if that ball or one of your body parts touches that line, then it becomes out of bounds. So, a lot of y'all probably know that, but some may not. Now we got another look right here where people are really getting into this and getting in depth. And now we're looking like, as he got all the way into his shooting motion just before he released from the ground, that he was out. But this is where them calling the 2-point shot initially comes into play. Because, like we said, he can still be behind the line even though his toe is over the line, as long as that front part of his foot is not touching the line. And that is really hard to tell right there. But because he called it a 2-point shot to begin with, you're going to lean towards that initial call. But he had a bad look at it to begin with. And that's not his fault. He actually did what he's supposed to do in that situation. They actually had they had this one right here where they gave Steph Curry a 3 in this situation. And you could see that this is almost the same type of play. And people are saying, just because it's LeBron. Now, we didn't see this angle. All the other angles were from the other side. But this angle actually shows clearly that he was off the line. But as he's shooting, his foot is rolling in like this. So there he was behind the line. But as he finishes his shooting motion, that toe could continue to go forward and then touch the line. And that's what the official said that they seen. We're going to get a 2-minute report tomorrow. Filming this before that report comes out. So y'all will get an update. Make sure you check out the NBA's website and they will give that report. And then you'll be able to see exactly what they had to say about it. What do we got here? Oh, that was the last shot again. Okay. And what is this one? Oh, it's a good look at just. I'm gonna let this play. Just let this play in real time. Is it gonna play? No. I gotta refresh it.
The 3-point shot, but this is how close it was.
I gotta refresh it. All right, so we'll let that play. See what I'm saying? So you see how the toe continues to come in. We'll zoom into this. This is actually a better look than what we had too. Where the officials at? Hold on, right here. Wait. Wow. So close. You see the official shoe? Oh, let me zoom in on the official shoe. See how his shoe's not on the ground, like it's raised up? This is really tough. It's probably one of the closest plays you'll see, especially with everything that's on the line. So I don't know, team. I think you got to stick with the original call on this, honestly. He's not even looking at he's looking at contact up top. Look at where the official's eyes are. And I believe is he looking at the right spot? He's an NBA official, so they have a set thing that they do. I tend to look at, well, you need to identify if the shooter's behind the line if it's close. So I think in this situation, he probably wants to look at the feet first before he's trying to look at contact up top. Because look at his eyes. Look at the official's eyes. Hold on. Let me see if I can show the official's eyes. So, well, no, it looked like he was looking down to begin with. In this situation, you want to look down first. Yeah, because you need to make sure he's behind the line. So you're kind of you're looking at the feet. Then you want to make sure there's no contact, no foul there, no body contact. There's not going to be any body contact, not initially in this play. So you're looking at the elbow, the release, making sure there's no contact on LeBron James' arm. And then, you'll look and make sure that he lands safely and Conley doesn't get in his landing space, which would also give him a foul on an airborne shooter. Very, very close. Very, very close. Should they gave LeBron James a gift for his birthday and just gave him the benefit of the doubt there? As an official, I'll be honest. As an official, I got to stick with the original call. As a player, I think that's a 3-point shot. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at on it. That is tough. So that's what we got there. And then let's see. Do we got anything else? I think that was it. I think that's all we had. Yeah. Yeah. Team, what's my perspective on all of this? Well, I would say that the officials have an extremely difficult job at the NBA level. They get compensated well for what they do, though. And we give the NBA players a lot of criticism and ridicule for everything that they do on the court. I think the officials deserve just as much ridicule. They get protected more than anybody I've ever seen in a profession as far as what they have to deal with from public scrutiny. Now, these officials, they're assigners or clinicians or the people that hire them, maybe Adam Silver, well, he's probably not dealing directly with them. They'll hear it from them when they do things wrong. However, they don't have to talk to the media like the NBA players have to do, but they still get a lot of look from the media and the commentators and everything. I mean, they're announced before the game, they're talked about throughout the game. They talk about your Eric Lewis's, your Tony Brothers, your Zach Zarbas, guys like that. Um, so that's kind of where it's like, well, what are we doing with the officials? I know for me, like I'm held accountable, and like high school officials, college, well maybe not college at the higher level, but if you're doing like kids games and stuff, like you're getting chewed out for making the smallest mistakes within a game that usually doesn't even matter. These games actually have a lot of money on the line. There's gambling going on, which the NBA promotes, by the way. NBA promotes gambling. And these type of decisions affect people's outcome significantly. This can affect the over-under. This can affect the point spread, the money line. If you had the Lakers winning, you need that to be a three-point shot, successful. If you had the Timberwolves winning, well, you're happy with the results. If you had the over-under, I don't know what it was, but that three-point shot could have set it over could have made it over or could have made it under. So when the NBA is promoting gambling in the way that they do with the fan duels and the what's the prize picks and all of those different things, yeah, they need to get it right, and they probably should, hold the officials more accountable because they can affect the game, especially with the judgment calls. Some things are black and white in officiating, but some are judgment calls. So when they missed the Tatum, let's go back to that real quick before we get out of here. When they missed the Tatum play, right? When they missed this Tatum play, this affects a lot. I mean, you can even bet on things like how many fouls Tatum has in a game. I mean, there's probably a degenerate gambler out there that had Tatum committing over 2.5 fouls, and he might have had 2 fouls at that time. And had they gave him this deserved foul, somebody makes money and somebody loses money. So that's what makes it tough. Brings me to another point. I wonder if they're ever going to get to a point where they take out human referees and just use robots. LeBron James kind of alluded to that. And he was like, do they got a robot or AI basically, in Secaucus, while the guys are eating a ham sandwich. He snapped while the guys are back there eating a ham sandwich and not even watching the replays, press a button and let AI figure it out. Are they ever going to take NBA officials out and just have robots and cameras make the calls? I mean, you could. That's what they're basically doing to a degree. The officials can get the call completely wrong on the floor, and then they go back to replay to see if the official was correct or not. So technically, you don't need officials. I mean, you do to a degree, but you could have a robot that just is trained, and he'd be faster than an official that got beat because he was ahead of the play. And next thing you know, LeBron and all these other guys are so fast that they got ahead of him, and then he stops and he gets straight line and can't really see where LeBron James' foot is. But if you got a robot with a whole bunch of cameras on it that's on the sideline that is tethered to the floor on a little track, and that robot can go up and down that track at 50 miles an hour and still keep a good frame of the play because they can have image stabilizer on it. Like your camera has that. When you use a gimbal or something like that, it keeps your camera from. So when you're moving and taking a moving shot, it keeps the camera from wobbling. Basically, what a stabilizer is. So they can actually have all of this input into a computer, into the cameras, and then just take the officials out of it all day. And I'm not saying I want that because I don't. But at some point, I think we need to like, and it's not going to change, but at the high school level, which I really appreciate, and when you're talking JUCO and maybe like D3, I wouldn't say D2 or D1, they're gonna have replay on those games. But when I do junior college games, there's no replay usually. There probably will be in like, regional finals and stuff like that. They'll get the replay in there. But in regular season games, there's no replay. So, whatever you call stands. If your partner sees something different, he can come in and give information. But that's kind of where it is. So I don't know. That's just a question that will probably come up as time goes on and as we move more into an AI, type of society where we got computers controlling everything for us and making all these decisions for us. Because we're doing a hybrid version of it right now when we're having plays called just so we can go back to replay. Like, for instance, and I'll leave it at this. When there's a goaltending call, they'll call goaltending whether they're sure or not, because then they can go back and look and see if it's a goaltend or not. But if they don't call goaltending at the time, you can't go back and look at it. So a lot of times officials are trained to say, all right, just call it goaltending if it's even close, and then we'll go back and look at it. What the hell are you there for in that situation? Make the right call. If you don't think it's a goaltend, don't call a damn goaltend. But if it's close and you call it just so you can go back and look at it, that's what a robot would do. But a robot would probably get it right the first time. So, I don't know, team. It was LeBron James' birthday. Shout out to the GOAT. He's 3 years older than me. Yeah, he's 3 years older than me. So, shout to Bron. Shout to the officials too. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really upset with them like a lot of people are. I'm not going to go through all the Twitter comments of them getting eviscerated. I will like to see the 2-minute report. So I'm going to be looking for that when it gets released. And I doubt I'll do a follow-up on it. But, if you guys want to check it out, do that. Until the next one, I appreciate y'all, team. That Cell out.